What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a huge unboxing. There is a lot of stuff here from Tackle Warehouse. We went ahead and took advantage of the Black Friday deals, the ones that we actually shared with y'all because we did a video a couple weeks ago, like right before Black Friday. And that was a lot of fun. We just hopped online, we were shopping around. As we were shopping around, I was like, I need to buy like half these things.
Remember the old movies? Got it, need it, got it, need it, need it, need it. That's my whole brain was like, got it, need it, need it, need it, got it.
The whole time. So obviously we went back online during Black Friday, Cyber Week deals, whatever. They're like still going on at this point, which is bonkers.
Cyber Wednesday.
Cyber year.
Cyber December.
Cyber December. So we hopped on a bunch of those deals. We picked up a huge haul. There's probably about, I don't know, 35, 40 baits in here, 2 of which are missing. So I'll just tell you what they are now and we'll show them on Instagram and stuff later. But we ordered a couple of Huddlestons.
Here's a picture of the Huddleston.
Look at it.
Right there.
The 68 weedless. Neat. So we got 2 of those, 1 for each of us, and there's a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna split in here. We're gonna get into it in just a second, because if you like stuff like this and you need something to tide you over the winter season, we got you. There's unboxings, we're prepping for ice fishing. We will be ice fishing. We're gonna winterize our kayaks. We're gonna upgrade our kayaks. We're gonna probably reorganize our tackle, and we're gonna do all sorts of other stuff too.
Real maintenance. We got tips and tricks. We got the Aggressively Average Angler podcast, which is really tips, tricks, and learning from experts, because we suck at fishing and we wanna get better.
Hey.
If you like that, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, come check it out.
You suck at fishing.
I am terrible.
Check this out, you guys. We're gonna use this beautiful little real maintenance mat. It's actually for pew-pews, not
Squirt guns?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's got like these little magnet sections here for just the little tiny parts. So this is gonna be cool. Stay tuned. We have a whole bunch of reels to maintain for the year. So those are gonna be coming out soon. Also, he's probably got some, I don't know. Do you have reels?
1, I think.
All right, cool. So during Black Friday, Tackle Warehouse did 20% off of literally everything on the website. So obviously we took advantage of that. I want to share with you these deals. I do have a list.
Yeah, we got $240, I think was the net, and that's without the Huddlestons.
This total right here is $274.31.
Oh, God.
Minus the HUDs. The HUDs came in at, I think, 20 bucks with that 20% off, which was awesome. So add 2 of those, 40 bucks in, puts us at a grand total of like 3 something. Anyways, we're gonna get into that. There's only one thing that I did order that wasn't from there, and it was from NRS. The Co-Pilot knife, because I want to be cool too. Paul has a knife and it's not fair. I got one in green because green is better than yellow and everybody knows it. So that is what I'm gonna be rocking on the old PFD, and that's gonna be cool. And I can't fully stab Paul because it is blunted. It makes me sad.
I know.
Whatever.
You could still cut a mango or
maul
whatever
him.
you do with it.
All right, so that was the only thing I got. It was on sale. NRS did a little Black Friday deal just direct through their website, so that was kind of cool. So that came out to like 30 bucks. They're normally 45, so.
Those are sick, I will say. As always, we always try and talk about this at this point. Whistle, knife,
Safety stuff.
safety stuff, along
PFD,
with your PFD.
given.
Those are the 3 things like you really should have. The minimum is the PFD and the whistle. That's the minimum, but a knife goes a long way.
Anyways, check this out.
Oh, God.
Did I do it? Oh, look at the bait sanity box. There's 2 giant things right up top. I forgot we got the exact same color. Mag Draft. This is a big one. The last one I got is actually the small one. So there's the 6 and the 8 inch. This is the 8 inch. So here.
Can I tell you why we got these? Part of what we've been doing, so we've been talking about how, like, look, we're trying to get better at things that we're currently not that great at, or that we just want to be better at. And some of the questions we've been asking are like, you know, in my mind, as someone who fishes like standard size baits, we went for the, I think it was the 6 inch, right? Or 5 inch?
I got a 6 inch perch,
and it was
which is perfect. And I caught on it multiple times.
But almost unanimously, folks who are way more experienced than we are with larger baits were like, you have to get the 8 inch. The 8 inch is the one that catches all the fish. Like, that's the one. And that wasn't the decision that we went with because it didn't make sense at the time, but we're also not that good. So we're trusting the better judgment of people who are better at fishing these than us, and we went with the 8 inchers. So here we are.
I just want to say, oh, come on, I was almost perfect.
80% of the cost is in the packaging.
For fish in the southeast, look what I did. I opened it perfectly swell. Wait, I can still screw this up.
Yeah, I was like, you got time.
I did it. Look how clean I just opened that. I am the winner. Perfect packaging. Now nobody can be mad at me again. It's so freaking cool. Look at the tail on this thing. First of all, let's just start there. That thing is massive. I also like that they put the 8 on, in case you forgot.
I wasn't sure which
that it's giant. This comes in at
2 ounces.
3 ounces!
Not small.
You have to throw this on the actual swim bait setup, but there we go. This thing is massive. It's awesome. We went with the, is this the albino shad, I think? Albino pearl shad. I think that was like the go-to color. Like basically everybody recommends this color. You gotta have at least one in this, and then you can mess around with the other colors that they offer. I really liked my perch color, but I like it for the 6-inch, honestly, over this. This in white, I think is gonna win. Well, albino pearl shad. Anyways, we've also seen like some pretty nifty little hacks on this where you can like put a little safety clip or whatever into here to keep this thing pinned, which is cool. You do have the magnet on this, but as you can see, it doesn't really stay super well. I mean, that's not ideal, but you get the idea. It's still got hooks pointing out, and it's gonna catch things. I absolutely love this bait. Look at those eyes. One of the coolest baits I own now. All right, so next up, we have a glide bait. This is from Bait Sanity. It's called the Antidote. I gotta say, 12 out of 10 on the packaging. Are you gosh dang kidding me? It comes in a tube.
I know.
That's freaking cool.
This is pretty sick.
So this is one that was highly recommended by Tactical Bassin.
Does that guy know stuff?
They know things. So this has been recommended by them 1,000 times out of 1,000. It's on every one of their swim bait seminars. It's a pretty freaking cool bait. So this one comes in at, I believe, 7 inches. It's a slow sink, and it comes in the color bread, not bone, bread.
Can't do bone anymore. Gotta have harvest wheat. Oh, that's kind of dope. Look, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the tube. Okay,
look at all the
that's
things.
Freaking sick.
I have to put my own trebles.
No.
The trebles are back here. That way they can fit in the tube.
Look at that. There's a lot of texture on the side of the body. You got kind of like almost like the trout face, kind of. A lot of detail on this. Again, ABS plastic, so it's a hard plastic. It does have a very rigid tail. This is not one of those soft tails that you necessarily have to worry about getting damaged. Single joint here. A lot of, I'll show you the movement on it. There it is. It definitely moves. One thing I like about this bait and some of the higher quality baits is the inside of that joint is painted. So a lot of times you'll see like an all silver body, but there's just like a big white gap here where you're seeing the blank. That is not the case here. Definitely seems like a quality bait. What was the retail on this?
$22.39. That's with the discount.
So like
it's a little
30
bit
bucks,
more,
something like that.
27.
So right around $30. Honestly, having looked at some other baits that are in that same price range, this really, it's value.
Yeah, we got a feel for. Oh, okay. That tail's nifty. I like that. It's got a real good feel to it. I love the design. The way the light's hitting it right now actually looks really cool.
It's not underpainted though.
No.
I can tell it's a solid bait. I know there's some really great experienced fishermen vouchsafing for it, so that lets me know that I have some confidence in it. Yeah. But I've never fished it, and that's really I'll say that's like the caveat for every single glide bait.
Do you have faith in it now? That's
science.
That's a scientist with a test tube that has a lure in it. Obviously, they know what they're doing, my friend.
Did they grow them in the test tubes?
I believe they grew them in these test tubes. It's the Antidote.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense now, actually.
The slow sink is 2.7 ounces, 7.5 inches is the length. So, gosh dang, freaking cool. Little tube there. All right.
You'll never use.
Did you get one of these?
Yes.
No, you didn't. All right, so next up we have from Z-Man. There's a lot of Z-Man stuff and a lot of Berkley stuff, like I said, just because they both came out with a lot of new things that we haven't got our hands on yet, so I had to. One of them is Topwater from Z-Man, and I bet you can guess what it is.
They're also in like the same vein of what we've been fishing. Like this obviously is in the vein of paddle tails and swim baits, which is what we've been
indestructible, though.
Exactly.
So these are the Swimmers, and these, I believe, are 6 inches. So
I'm sorry, it's the Swimmer Z. Swimmer Z.
Why do you say it that way?
I don't know, but like I feel like I have to say it because I don't like saying swimmers. It bothers me. It doesn't bother you?
In the comments below, is there anybody out there who says Swimmer Z or Nedlock
I say
Z?
But it's weird because I say diesel,
Turd Bug Z.
I say diesel minnows. Like no problem.
You're so weird.
I'm
Anyways,
a weird person.
it's Swimmers. These are 6 inches. Yep. And we've got 2 different colors here. So this is a classic Smoky Shad, which I believe is the one I picked up and you wanted opening night.
I did, and that's what I have.
Cool. So Smoky Shad is just classic color. I've used it on all sorts of things from their like flukes to drop shot baits, whatever. It absolutely always catches fish. So I felt confident with that. You went with like the super flashy one, which I do really like. I love this,
do like this a lot.
Like streamer material in there.
Yeah, and that's this is very abnormal to see that streamer material. I think I see this in a lot of like homemade baits from smaller bait companies. It's really not often that you see them in this, but I'll be honest, this is nice profile, good color, and it's just natural. But the pearl, and are you guys picking up the pearl? Yeah, you are. You're picking up the purple on top. You can see it right there. But as the light hits it, it's always a little different. So it's like a clear base, and there is like a pearl running through the top. Super nice.
Look at this infinite rigging opportunity, right? From there all the way down there. Yep. Goes from top to bottom. Yep. So now we got a swim bait that can do this, which is pretty neat.
So they're calling out like a straight up, just straight shank jig. They're calling out a belly weighted hook or a Texas style with an offset hook. So there's sort of your three options, which totally makes sense because you get your hook point in every different kind of configuration. The one thing I'll call out is you are getting a heart-shaped or like that guitar pick shaped tail. It actually does, doesn't it?
Pow!
Shazam.
It's a little MB guitar pick.
So they're all, this is, I think to me, like these are typically more of like a side to side. They are a little bit slower. They, even though with the angle, you're definitely gonna get a thump. Yep. A little bit less thumpy than some of the more squared off ones. But I think this is gonna be pretty tight. Also, it does have a lot of texture. So you can kind of see the way the light's hitting it, it is textured. Look at my thumb is going right. That's insane. God dang.
We did pick up some Z-Man chin locks for these, which is gonna be ideal. So we got belly weighted hooks. You don't really want to use like a screw lock with baits of this style, but you can.
Dude,
you're about to tell me how.
I saw this, I saw the sickest tip. I think it was actually on Z-Man. I can't remember if it was Z-Man posted or reposted or not.
Did they heat it up?
Was 10,000 times better. Oh yeah, ow! We have a toothpick. All right, so he took a toothpick and he shoved it right where he would be putting in the screw lock. In essence, what he's doing, or what he did,
clearing some space.
Well, it's like pre-tapping a hole.
Yeah.
Like so, if you were gonna drive some screws in, you want them to go in super clean, super smooth. You would tap your hole. So did that.
We're gonna try it right now. So I'm gonna skip ahead real quick. You guys are gonna see that we picked up some 8/0 belly weighted beast hooks from Owner. These are the best of the best.
I was about to say
absolute best.
The Owner hooks.
Owner hooks are insanely good.
This is a huge.
It's massive.
That is a huge screw lock
because it's for a big old bait.
This thing is a freaking giant, and it is for a giant bait. These are 4/0.
This is 8.
Oh, good.
This is an 8/0. So this is like your 7/8" baits.
So I'm going.
So this is actually maybe a little big for this.
So it
should be a 7 or a 6/0.
All right. So without trying, that's how far I got. That's definitely better.
That's good.
That is definitely better. So there's your, without rigging the whole thing.
Hot tip.
Dude, that is, I loved that. Where I was most excited about it was actually rigging the Nico Winnow 95. In my mind, I was like, that's where I need that tip. There's been so many times like, this would be perfect. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the opposite of perfect.
I don't feel like rigging it.
Horrendous, because I don't have 3 days to get this right.
That's awesome.
Not bad.
All right, well, there's your beast
Pre-tap your baits.
While we're on this real quick, I'm gonna knock these out. So as with Owner being freaking awesome, we picked up a whole bunch. So I got the 3/8 ounce 8/0. We just showed you some of those. I got some 1/4 ounce 6/0. And again, these are the screw locks. So it'd be great for a couple of baits you're gonna see in a minute. There's another flashy swimmer. So now we're talking massively huge. One of these
That's the one. This is the one.
Yeah, so these are gonna be rad. Imagine adding like a little willow blade to your big ol' swim baits. These are freaking cool. So I'm excited for that.
I love that. So we did get some.
That's what these are actually
some
for.
Chin locks. These have got to be. These are what, TT lures? All right, so Jeff's gonna hook one of these up. Here's what the hook looks like. That's what the hook looks like, and it's got the same technology as the Z-Man hooks that we love so much for Ned rigging. These are, but it's a belly weighted swim hook. When you rig up your bait, this is actually gonna stick outside of your bait, and it's gonna take advantage of that super stretchy, super durable Z-Man material, so that when the bait wants to pull back down the hook, it can't, because it's locked in right here. It's one of those things that have made in the river a Z-Man plastic last even longer than it normally would without you having to constantly adjust the rigging. And it legit is like a cheat code for all your Z-Man Neds, and even regular ones too. I mean, it helps a ton with regulars. That is my go-to net EWG weedless Ned rig.
If you want to go anywhere you want, you got to be real careful.
But I've never had something like this for a swim bait or even anything else really. I mean, it's not just for swim
a lot
baits.
easier if I had a line on here, so it really wants to like pop off the end. But there you go. So like this chin lock, you just kind of tuck your Elastec behind that, and you can rig it up like so. Now this is a 6/0, so it's actually probably not big enough, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, because you want your hook point coming out of here.
It'll still work. So yeah, I mean, that's how the rig would look, just like that. This is not gonna slide down after each catch, like it just can't. It won't go anywhere. And there you go. So that's the Invincible Swimmers.
But because it's a Z-Man, it won't rip either.
Yeah.
So like instead, like a normal bait, as you would be if you had the chin lock on there, it may have a tendency to rip if you got like a really aggressive fish, especially if you didn't hook the fish and they just had the bait. All they're doing is pulling that off. But with the Z-Man, as you can see, even with just that little bit of material, it's just staying exactly how it was intended to be. So it's freaking awesome. These ones, again, are made by TT Lures. They use a mustad hook, and then what they're doing is just adding the weight sections at the bottom and here up at the chins.
That is why we love these so much. So same exact little combo, the TT Lures with Z-Man. These are the Ned locks. You guys have seen us fish these 1,000 times because this is our go-to Ned rigging setup. If you can EWG a Ned rig with a Z-Man plastic, like you're invincible.
I don't always recommend going weedless with the Ned. I do when it's beginners so that they can develop more confidence in it and they can, you know, make more mistakes. But there are just going to be times where...
Or if you're reckless like me.
Well, if you're power fishing in the river and you don't necessarily have like a ton of control over your environment.
I know nothing else.
This would definitely be an option for you. If you're going weedless though, this is the hook that I'd recommend above all others.
So we just take our little finesse TRDs in the one color that exists on the planet, which is copper truce, and we go ahead and we rig her up. There you go. And that is never coming off, ever, ever, ever. So you got this little lock section right back there. So you are good to go. Even if this potentially slips off, that's not going anywhere. So obviously I restocked on the copper truces. I got 2 bags of that. Then we got this color that I hadn't seen before. It's called New Money.
This is not doing it any justice. The light's almost too bright. It's downplaying the amount of flash that you're getting on here. So New Money is copper and green flake with a green pumpkin and green top. So you have green on top with a green flake. You have green pumpkin on bottom with the copper. This would be like the...
It's a darker, flashier version of the copper truce, which is what I've always wanted.
It's really cool. So there is black flake in here too. It's really hard to pick up on, and it's really nuanced. This is like glitter bomb to me, is what it really is.
I like it.
The one thing that we've picked up on over the years is that copper flake is really critical for the river. It works so much better than almost any other flake or anything else. It just, for whatever reason, where we fish, like the Midwest rivers, is really effective. So this would be a nice ad. I do have this in ticklers, and it definitely works.
Somebody's a copycat, and they wanted to be cool like me, so they got it.
They
got on the micro train. So we got the Z-Man micro baits to test out. These are the stingers, and we got 2 colors here. So this one is the glow chartreuse, which is just nice and bright chartreuse with a little bit of white belly. He's gonna show you the bait here in a different color. Space guppy.
Good old space guppy. So as you can see, this is really meant to be either jigged or swam, but really probably jigged is where it's gonna shine. I think this works well.
Large ice fishing plastic.
I
think we could pull it off.
You can.
If we got on some big crappie, it would definitely get bit.
The thing that gets me with these a lot of times is you really gotta be careful with your rigging because you know that you're using a Z-Man bait. So using a weightless hook, unless you are being really intentional with your rigging, is really not an option. So you do have to have some sort of a weighted hook. But
slap it on a big old jig.
Yeah, exactly. These are really cool. So you got gold and black flake with a clear top, and then you get the chartreuse belly, which, I mean, that's just screaming crappie to me. Now, the one thing I'll call out, this is gonna be a little bit hard to show on camera. That tail is actually 4 ridges. It almost looks like an arrow. The veins of an arrow. There you go. You can see right there.
Every angle it catches water. So it's moving like crazy.
Pretty neat. Kind of excited to see it. So it's not a paddle tail. Also, the tail itself, again, kind of difficult to show on camera here. Just get Jeff's face out of there.
Okay, cool.
The tail is actually like a segmented body. And then look at the big frog eyes. Pretty sick. I like this bait.
They're awesome baits.
The other thing that I'll call out here is I think finesse bait companies are a little bit better about selecting the type of packaging that you're getting. So you're not getting a clamshell where each one of these is individual.
The tray.
You're getting the tray, which that's what I would pick over almost anything else. Allows you to accommodate different baits if you want to put some more in there. There's enough room where these aren't getting damaged, but they're not taking up a bunch of space in your box, and you're not like surgically trying to put them back in when you use them. So, and you will reuse these constantly because they'll never die. So I think good call using the tray. Those are mine.
Are they both yours?
Hey, look at that.
Nice. On display. Okay, then we needed smelly stuff to attract the fishies, right? So we split these up as well. But we went ahead and we got some power bait. It's max scent flukes.
It's pronounced purr bait.
Purr bait, max scent. So I believe you went with green pumpkin because you're an old man.
Yeah, dude.
And I went ahead and I went with Pearl, probably. PB, MS, FJ5, WHPR.
Of course, yes. My favorite color.
White pearl. Yeah. So I went with white pearl on that. You do get a 10 count. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
These are decently durable. It's not like your basic plastic.
Medium.
They are definitely not invincible, but they smell real juicy. We got to smell them.
Dude, you did it to yourself. You knew what you were doing. He's doing this for the views.
It's like, hang on. I gotta describe what this is. Okay.
No, hold on. Let me
Hang
go.
on. It's almost like if you chewed up a bunch of sunflower seeds that were shrimp flavored, and then you spit it into a cup, and then you sniff that. Like, it is that. It is backwashed, Biggs, shrimp flavored.
I am getting the sunflower seed thing though, because it's like the wet shells.
Yes, that's what
It's
I'm
the
saying.
wet shells. That's good.
I feel like I just gave the most accurate description ever.
Wet
given
pumpkin
on
seed,
Next Time.
wet sunflower seed shells.
You're welcome.
So the reason
Internet.
we finally have gotten to the
We did
bottom
it.
of it. The
Mystery solved.
The reason we got these is one, I wanted to try something different than what Jeff is holding right now, because that's something I have some experience with. But I wanted to try the Max Scent out. Scent is something that I'm going to be playing with, that we are going to be playing with a ton next season and during ice season. So we actually went out, you guys haven't seen this, but I bought 5 different scents, all different brands. We're going to dunk a bunch of stuff. We're going to compare it to the pre-scented stuff, and then we're also going to compare it to non-scented baits, and just kind of see like how much of an advantage are we really getting. If you were on the Aggressively Average Angler podcast where we had Ben Nowak talking about scented baits, he told a really great story. He was like, I was never really a huge believer in baits, and definitely not Max Scent, but I took a kid out fishing who was not an expert, wasn't good, didn't really know what he was doing, and he outcaught Ben 10-1 using,
which is nuts,
using the old Max Scent. And he was like, ever since that day, I'm now obsessed with it, and he's a hardcore believer. He's like, these baits aren't even the best. It's not like the shape is good, they're not more durable or more action, or the colors aren't that good. He's like, they're just soaked in bait, and that's what makes them so great. So yeah, we got the fluke, but we also got
the flatworm. So these are one of the fish catchingest drop shot baits of all time.
I wish I had made a video on this, but at the old cottage fishing off the break wall, I was using these all season. My son actually picked this color. Was it the Mango Magic?
Yep. And I got the same color as Paul in this case because I really did want to put this to the test. Very natural looking, kind of that goby hint to it, right? The golds and the purples in there, and like just this natural, I guess, green pumpkin motor oil.
It's a motory oil kind of color, but it's not.
Good.
It's not translucent. It's very, very dense, almost matte-like. But I'll tell you right now, we bought 1 bag of these for him. He got to pick out whatever he wanted from the bait shop, and I tied it on.
Your son picked this out?
Yeah, he did. Oh, well, I kind of narrowed it for him. I was like, you can pick out of this section,
or just this.
So the bag attracted him. He wanted the power bait, and that's what was like. All right, if that's what, he was gonna go for like all this other stuff, and then he saw the bag. He was like, I want that. And I was like, oh, he's a genius.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what color do you want? And I kind of like narrowed it to like 3 colors, and it was like the green pumpkin-y ones with the purple / gold flake.
Like, these
and he went with this one, and I was like, yes, you're so smart. I love you. So we take it out. I rig up a drop shot. I drop it down, and I was actually testing some Berkeley Fireline, which I've only used a couple of times, but I wanted to use the ultralights. So I think I had like a 6-pound or an 8-pound. I can't remember. So I was like, got all rigged up, threw it down. First cast, I don't even know that the weight hit the bottom. And this was midday.
Snatched up.
Giant smallie. 2-3 hours later, first cast. I don't know that the weight hit the bottom. Right off the break wall, big 4-pound smallie. And so I'm not saying that that's going to happen to you every time you cast it, but I will say this: very effective. And compared to like other drop shot baits, just clearly was effective. So that like spurred on sort of 1, me buying more of these, and 2, gotta be messing around with those scents. I'm really excited to see how that goes this year, especially for ice.
So switching off of plastics for a second, we actually did end up getting a free bait. Check that out. And freaking coleslaw too. This color is absolutely bonkers.
I don't have one of those.
Would you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
this is Paul's now. So this is the Big Blade chatterbait. I've actually got a few of these. I don't have this color, but I'm gonna give this to Paul because he has no big blades and he needs them. The orange top is freaking insane. Look at that.
So,
oh my God, that blade is sick. And then you got the chartreuse white with a hint back here. Check it out. Hint of orange back there. So there you go, bud. You're gonna enjoy that.
Friends.
1/2 ounce too. Then, so that was free. These weren't, but we have to try these out. I've heard things about them. Obviously, lots of guys that fish Berkeley are showing them off every single day. I couldn't get a hold of them for the longest time, and they were available. So let's just grab a bunch of these, right? Went with some classics in here.
Hot craw.
We got hot craw, which is actually real juicy to me. So green pumpkin and red. We got black and blue. You know who wanted that. And then we got the white and chartreuse with actually a gold blade. So this silicone skirt was like all stuck together.
No, like molded.
Like
it
looked like it was in trouble.
It looked like it melted all in one piece.
Seems to be okay now. Slobber knocker, you got this jig head with a little through hole in it, which is a totally different design than what you're used to. And then you got your little clip at the front right there. A little different shape to the blade. I like the bend to it though. That always seems to work with the Z-Mans, which is the original chatterbait, of course. And then that's coming in gold. Got a nice stout hook to it. Molded lead bait keeper with a hook to it.
Yeah.
The hook makes a big difference. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to try these out.
So here they are side by side. Obviously this is the big blade, so the blade is much bigger. Yep. But you could tell the actual blade shapes are like very, very similar.
It's hard to make it too much
like they different. Rounded the bottom, but like the tilt here is identical. The Z-Man has the two-way barb. That's because it's really engineered for Z-Man plastics.
Right, you need it.
That's the exact type that you want to hold it in place. I think this is more engineered for like your standard or like maybe a power bait kind of plastic.
So one you're gonna see in a second. Where are we at?
We got the heck razor.
The heck razor. You can't say this on the internet. That's a no-no word. This one we've been waiting on for a while.
Yeah.
So this is the heck razor from Z-Man. I'm only calling it that from now on.
The old heck razor.
So first of all, when you first look at this bait,
you're not getting it out.
It's 5 inches. It's 5/8 of an ounce. But you look at it and you go, this is dumb. This is maybe saltwater. I got it just fine. This is maybe a saltwater bait. Look, I'm so much.
Mine's glued.
Mine was too. I just ripped it. Well, just be better. Do better. So this is the gold. I really like this for topwater. This is a pretty flashy color. I'm digging it. Little dress treble off the back. But look at this. This back blade. This is the back, right? Here's your line tie, by the way, too. So you have a line tie this far back, like almost 2 inches back.
It's a 5-inch bait.
From the front of the bait, just this big, wide, flat section. So I'm looking at this as like walking bait that at the same time with this rattle.
Not a walking bait.
Is like just dragging heck. Look at this.
I'll tell you how it's gonna run.
It's doing this. It's up. It's just like bam, 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 with this blade going crazy behind it and rattling. The whole thing is rattling. This weight is making it do this.
Yes.
Right? So it rides like this in the water and just does this. Look at that. That's freaking nuts. This is gonna be crazy.
The noise is gonna be insane.
2 different size trebles too.
Yep.
Whoa.
The noise is gonna be insane.
It's raising heck.
It is gonna raise some heck. But I think the craziest part is that the tail is just by necessity of with the weight being here.
That bone
and the fact that this is getting dragged downwards. Like when the water pushes back, this is getting dragged down. But your line tie being so far back keeps it at top water without popping up out of the water. So what you're really getting here is like a delayed tail action. And like, so the body is moving one way, the tail is gonna be pulling it the other way. So it's getting pulled in both directions, and that's where you're getting this like really erratic action. This to me, it's not a bass bait. I'm not saying you won't catch bass. This is a toothy critter bait. This is pike and like musky bait. You should be prepared to lose this bait to a toothy critter. I don't
think you'll lose it. It's 5 inches. You're not gonna lose it.
That's what's gonna be, I think.
It would be a massive fish. If you lost this to a toothy critter, it would have to inhale a 5-inch bait. It's attacking this though. The flash, I didn't yank it out of his hands. Everybody calm down. The flash is all here. So the target's here. Not here. Yeah. You're not gonna lose this.
Hope not.
You're not gonna.
But
you'll lose it to a tree.
I guess
definitely.
I guess my point is like if normally your bycatch percentage on a pike is like 8%, 5%.
It's now 75%.
It's like 60% now. I mean, like you have a much higher chance of bycatching a pike or a muskie. Way higher now than it would be with bass.
We're back to the slobber knockers for a second because we want to get a bait trailer on here. So you got to pick apart that skirt. But it does feel like pretty heavy duty material.
No, it is. There's nothing wrong with it. This again,
which is why it's probably sticking.
I've seen some other baits that have that sort of have the same type of deal.
So we went back to the slobber knockers for a second because they're designed to pair up with this. This is the ideal trailer for it. So we've got the Power Bait Power Stinger. And these are 3.5 inches. Right there, you can see. You get 7 of them in this clamshell. It's actually a decent clamshell. It's like very thin. I like that. It doesn't seem like it's. These are scented skirts.
Smell that.
This is a scented skirt. Probably should have called that out. It is hyper shrimpy. This smells like the shrimp chips that you get at like any Oriental market. Anyways, so we're gonna pair it up with these.
I was wondering what smelled so funky. Like I was
vile.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta show you guys this. I want to show you the slobber knocker here, the the hot craw. Look at that blade, matte finish, red flake on green pumpkin. Dude, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is the jam. So it's like 2 different colors of green, and then you get the red and black in there as well. That's a murderously good color. I love that.
So I got white ice, right? So you got the clear, translucent, flashy belly with that pearly top.
And I went green pumpkin pearl.
Which is one of the juiciest colors. If you guys
really
aren't
is.
fishing anything green pumpkin pearl, I highly recommend it. So the way the bait's designed, you actually have like your little hook section back there. I'm at the end of it, and it's actually a little shy of the top. So you actually need to go a little deeper, which is interesting because this was designed for the slobber knocker. It doesn't quite line up the way you would think. It goes just up to the bait keeper, and that's it, which isn't actually honestly a big deal.
Dude, these are 2 of the sickest rigs.
Yeah. This is a really juicy trailer, you guys. Like, this looks awesome.
I almost want a bigger
It is
one.
really well designed for this bait.
Do they make a larger one?
Look at that. Probably.
I would almost go upsize.
I would almost bet that that comes with a different size. The way this is rigged right now with this size, your tail is just sticking out from the skirt. I'm okay with it. It could definitely be a little longer. I also do want to point out that the weights of the slobber knocker are on the chin. Look at that. That's pretty neat.
That's nice.
3/8. All right, so first of all, slobber knockers came in at $10. That's with the discount. They are
Actually, that's not that bad.
I don't know though. It's about the price of a jackhammer, so I would consider that. No, 20% off, $10.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
almost
so they're
the
close.
price of a jackhammer.
Still
It's
a
like
little lower, but
13,
yes.
15
Yeah,
bucks.
right
So
there.
yeah, it'd be
It
tough.
never-
It'd be tough for me to not grab a jackhammer.
Yeah.
So they're like
These are $1 a
$7.99,
piece.
$8. It's
These are a little over
piece.
$1 a piece for a 6 count or
It
for a
ain't
7
cheap.
count.
It is a power bait. That's kind of what you get. So last up, we got another power bait here. And this one is a 3 count of the gillies. I think this is like the mid-size, the 110 millimeter. They do come smaller and they come larger. These are things you got to rig yourself. Paul went with the HD True Color.
So yeah, HD True Color. We looked at a crappie one.
It looks terrible.
It looked like it looks like a Jackson Pollock.
So I went with the Ike's Green Pumpkin Blue. I love green pumpkin and blue combos.
We like
this
Ike.
is really nice. I didn't notice this, but look at that. You got these little side fins near the back, which is gonna cause this to move even more. And then this is basically just like one thin strip of plastic with all of these little, I don't even know what you would call these little scale
Protrusions.
material. Protrusions, that's perfect. Look at that. So there's so much action in this. You can rig it a whole bunch of different ways too. It's actually got little hook slots there. If you wanna rig it sideways, wounded, dying fish, you can rig it up top just like that. Possibilities are endless.
HD Sunfish, but this is like a red ear. I saw this one instantly, wanted to get my hands on it. I've been meaning to get some time with the gilly since it came out. Even though I'm honestly not a huge fan, they're kind of expensive. To me, it seems over-engineered. You got all these different like things to grab water. Again, you got that square tail. The little plus sign tail, you got just stuff like appended, ridges all over it for grabbing water. It's not that I'm like totally against it, I just have never been a gigantic fan. It did win, I think, Bait of the Year or whatever
it's
at
not
iCast.
that expensive.
It's changed though, but yeah.
It's like $6-7 for a 3-pack.
So they're $2 each.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to swim, it's a swim bait though. Like that's what you got to think about. It's not that
It's a 2-inch swim bait or 3-inch swim bait. Yeah. I'm not sold. I do think it is kind of challenging to rig. I mean, can you just, you know it's difficult to rig when almost every creator that talks about the gilly is like, here's how you rig it. They're not like, it's not like a lot of other baits that come out. It's just like, oh, here's how, you just know or can tell intuitively. It's not intuitive. I don't know.
What's the weight on it?
This one does look really good. It looks so much better than I thought it would in hand though. So I gotta give it that. This HD is really sick. I'm loving this.
So, I mean, ideally you just use an EWG. You can rig this thing up. You're obviously rigging the front portion of it because the back portion is
where the action. So
one strip of
you don't want a hook going
plastic.
back through here.
Yeah.
It's too thin and it's gonna ruin the action. So you're limited to this section of the bait as where you've got your rigging options, which honestly means shorter hooks.
Probably
so this is
that.
the top tag. You can open it up and inside you'll find your rigging options. So they have for you just a standard jig head.
Oh, that's
right. The standard jig head. And they're very clear. You're not to go into the rear section. You don't go back there in the soft section. You stay to the head. They've got it as a drop shot, obviously. You know, who wouldn't have thought to do that? And then they've got it as a, so this is your sideways. It's kind of difficult to tell, but a weedless sideways. Not sure I love that one, but it's probably one of the best ones. And here's the top view of that. So there's your top view of the sideways. So this is like the top of the bait. You see the hooks going out the side, point comes out the other side. And then there is the same exact thing with weedless Texas. So that's probably the way I would do it.
Weedless Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, or just weedless on an angle?
One of the two.
Well, we'll find out next year.
That's so sad. That's so. So this is like a reload, and this whole episode is like, here's what you can buy if you're gonna. I have trouble with this because we get all this stuff. Can't touch
use
it for 6 months.
So long.
Brutal.
Hey, look, it's me from the future. Paul has left, but one bait just showed up on my doorstep the moment he walked out the door, so convenient. We've got the Huddlestons, though. These are the Deluxe 68s. Look at that thing right there. I wanted to show this rather than just, you know, popping a picture into the video like we were going to do, because I wasn't ready for this bait. When I first saw it on the internet, after people recommended it to me, I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, it looks like another swim bait. Now that I have it in hand, it's not just another swim bait. I know these are expensive, but I can tell right out the gate that this is something that is worth it. It might be one of the most difficult baits to get out of a bag too. You will be mine. First of all, it's a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be. I thought this was gonna be massive, but take a look at that. So it's like what, 5.5, 6 inches. Not super huge. It's got this crazy heavy tail. Look at that. That's how thick that tail is off the back. Wasn't ready for that. We've got a cool little design on the tip of it there, nice. Hyper realistic, looking real good. Got your dual fins on the bottom here for balance. And then this one right here as well. You can get your fins up on top. And here's what like blew my mind on this. I couldn't remember which one I had ordered. I thought we ordered like the weedless one, you rig it yourself, but check it out. We got a line tie right there. There's a weight in here and there's a hook right there. What? So this has like this little pocket section right here, and your hook is just rigged up in there. It's like basically weedless. And then if a fish comes and bites down on this, that hook is protruding. So they come down, they hit this, they hit it from whichever way, maybe they hit it from the side. However they come after this thing, they're getting that hook. Like this is empty, so no matter what, like any amount of pressure is gonna open that up. Your fish is gonna get hooked. So that, I thought that was really cool. It's an awesome design, and I mean, I couldn't let the video end without like showing this off. So that thing is freaking sweet. All right, so that was our Black Friday haul. Whole bunch of stuff, obviously restock. We can't use it for a long time. That's a bummer. But we are gonna be prepping up for some ice fishing. We're gonna be winterizing, we're gonna be upgrading, we're gonna be doing some tackle organization, all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. And we appreciate you guys for watching today. Hopefully you got some ideas on how you could waste more of your money on fishing things, because that's what we're really good at. You're welcome. And if you did and you wanna come back for more of the stuff we're doing over the winter, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, all that stuff. Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, we go live, Aggressively Average Anglers. We're talking about
industry pros, new tips, new tactics. And on the topic of new tactics, leave us a comment down below on what you'd like us to cover. We are looking for sort of the next set of things we're going to tackle. Ice fishing is probably going to be one of them, but if there's something specific, I know where I want to start, but we want to know where you want to start. What like techniques do you want us to tackle? Or you bring folks on the show who really know what they're talking about and explain it to us together.
All right, guys, we got to do some winterizing
More stuff.
So we'll see you on the next one.